Since man discovered how to write, we have used literature to express ourselves. There are a lot of great poets known to man, and their names have gone down in history. But it's the poems written by anonymous people that still puzzle people to this day, such as this next poem, Poor Old Lady, written by Anonymous.
Poor old lady, she swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Poor old lady, I think she'll die.
Sometimes when analyzing a poem, you have to look deeper.
Poor old lady, she swallowed a spider. It squirmed and wriggled and turned inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. Don't know why she swallowed a fly. Poor lady, I think she'll die.
It's not always about what you hear, but what lays beyond the surface.
Poor old lady, she swallowed a bird. How absurd. She swallowed a bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Poor old lady, I think she'll die. Poor old lady, she swallowed a cat. Think of that. She swallowed a cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Poor old lady, I think she'll die.
Throughout this poem, things seem to progress, with each step getting worse along the way.
Poor old lady, she swallowed a cow. I don't know how she swallowed a cow.
If you haven't figured out the moral to that story, the moral is simple. Don't lose yourself in pursuit of other things.
Poor old lady, she swallowed a horse. She died, of course.
April 29th, 2003. The world would make way for Mahogany Jackson. She would be born to parents Moses Jackson Jr. and Gail Maddox. From early on, she's described as someone who was loving, someone who was caring. She's described as possessing a smile that would radiate any darkest space. As Mahogany began to grow older and grow as a person in life, she would receive her education in the Birmingham city school system. Later on in life, she would graduate from Job Corps. By the year of 2024, Mahogany is now 20 years old. At this point in her life, she has also brought forth a child, a daughter who would become her entire existence. Throughout life, it had given her curveballs, but Mahogany always managed to stand on her 2 feet. 20-year-old Mahogany was happy, with a smile that was infectious. As an adult, she's self-aware of who she is, with a strong personality. At this point in her life, she's described as a true friend, someone who is almost too trusting. The month of February of 2024 would be spent as normal. She would go to work and then hang out with family and friends. Little did the people around her know that the person that they had came to love would soon be leaving them. In the end of February, the family would be hit with a tragedy, and the pain that they were experiencing was spread throughout the entire city, as well as going nationwide. Sunday, February 25th, 2024. Around 8 a.m., Mahogany Jackson would send a text message to a family member. She would send a text to her mother relaying the information that she was being held hostage at Serenity Apartments, Unit 3, located in Southwest Birmingham. She also sent her location, along with the directions to not call her, but call the police. Shortly before 11 a.m., the authorities would be alerted about the text message. Once receiving this information, they would immediately go to the home. But once there, it was clear Mahogany wasn't at that residence. Upon the discovery that she was no longer there, they would canvass the immediate area, but they would turn up with nothing. Time would begin to elapse. The afternoon dusk would greet the starry night, and in the evening hours, there was still no word from her. By now, word has begun to spread throughout the community that Mahogany is missing, and everyone who had the privilege of encountering her would be on high alert in hopes for her safe return. As the evening began to fade into the early morning hours of February 26th, there was a turnaround. At approximately 2:19 a.m., the authorities would receive a call from a passerby who was in the area of 17th Street Southwest and Laurel Avenue. The reason for the call is because a person who was passing by in that area had discovered a body. So, the authorities would travel out to this remote area. The area that the investigators are traveling to isn't unknown. It's had its fair share of trouble because it had become an illegal dumping ground. But when arriving on the scene, located under an abandoned mattress, they would find the body of 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson. At first glance of the crime scene, it became apparent that she had suffered a gunshot wound, and the case that was being investigated as a missing person has now officially turned into a homicide investigation. Normally, the authorities have to work extra hard in order to receive a suspect in a case. But this case would be different because shortly after the discovery of Mahogany's body, a witness would come forward with information. This witness would tell the authorities that they know exactly who harmed Mahogany, and they were also present with videos of things that occurred before her body was found. Videos had begun to surface online of Mahogany Jackson in an altercation with several different people. Due to the graphic nature of the videos, I won't be airing them, but in all, the authorities would collect 5 separate videos, and with crimes being committed inside of the videos, as well as a witness coming forward with their names, they could immediately begin the arrest.
So good evening. The Birmingham Police Department announces 7 arrests have been made in the Mahogany Jackson homicide investigation. On Sunday, February 25th, 2024, the Birmingham Police Department officers began investigating the missing persons case of 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson. Mahogany sent a text message to a family member that she had been kidnapped. Early the following day, officers and detectives discovered Mahogany's body in the 1700 block of Laurel Avenue. Investigators determined that she had been shot. With assistance from the community, detectives were not only able to locate Mahogany Jackson's body, but detectives took 7 suspects responsible for Mahogany's murder into custody within 48 hours of this investigation. On Wednesday, February 28, 2024, detectives were able to obtain arrest warrants for the following suspects: Giovanni Clapp, Blair Green, black male, 25 years of age, of Birmingham; Tasia Lewis, black female, 25 years of age, of Birmingham; Francis Harris, black male, 25 years of age, of Birmingham, Alabama, is charged with capital murder; Sanaya McCall, black female, 23 years of age, of Bessemer, Alabama; Jeremiah McDowell, Brandon Pope, black male, 24 years of age, of Birmingham, Alabama.
The beginning of what transpired starts at the home of 24-year-old Brandon Pope. Authorities testify that Mahogany had arrived at his home with several of the suspects, people whom she had known. While at this home, the first attacks would begin. After this would repeat over and over, Mahogany Jackson would be at her breaking point, and she would tell them that they won and to just let her go. And then, in a video obtained by the authorities, they would hear McCall yelling, "Someone pop the trunk." Mahogany would then be placed inside of the trunk and transported to the Serenity Apartments, where further attacks would occur. Also during this time, she's being violated, and once they were done with her, She would be taken from the apartment by Pope, Harris, and McDowell, and afterwards driven to a remote area. This area is in fact the area in which Mahogany was found in, but this place was called Dead Man's Road, a nickname given by the locals. By the time that they reached this area, they had gotten wind that Mahogany had contacted her family. They had found out that she contacted them while at the Serenity Apartments, and this is the reason why they abruptly left before the authorities showed up. But before leaving and driving to the secluded area, they would tell Mahogany that if she gave them the passcode to her phone, in exchange, they would let her go. Unable to succeed, they would drive her to that remote area. And once there, 25-year-old Francis Harris, or to people known by him, his name was Ace. He is the guy responsible for firing the fatal round in the back head area of Mahogany Jackson. Allegedly, because the authorities are leaning on this because the witness told them that Harris admitted to what he had done. After firing the round, they then drug her lifeless body and put it under a mattress. And the reason behind this dark and sickening act was because Mahogany Jackson had allegedly stolen a firearm from one of the suspects, in which they got it back.
And we have this breaking news we got earlier today in Birmingham, where police say they have made an 8th arrest in the death of Mahogany Jackson. 23-year-old Irana Robinson is charged with murder and kidnapping. Birmingham Police Chief Scott Thurman announced the arrest of 7 other suspects Wednesday night. All are charged with Mahogany Jackson's murder. Her body was found early Monday morning, hours after she had been reported missing by family members. All of the suspects are being held in the Jefferson County Jail without bond tonight.
Each of the suspects was acquainted with Mahogany, and these were people she saw as her friends. And in the end, the big heart that she possessed would be her very downfall, and the family would be forced to bury their loved one with thoughts of knowing that the people who took her life were those she considered close.
Right now on the 4th, the more information we learn about the disturbing kidnapping and murder of Mahogany Jackson, the harder it is and more awful it is to hear.
Some of those suspects accused in her killing making an appearance in court today. Bria Chapman joins us now live with the latest. And Bria, the details that you heard today in court are disturbing and heartbreaking.
Yeah, Morgan, that is right. This case is beyond disturbing, and it was an emotional day in court. Now, one of the saddest details I learned today is that Mahogany Jackson came to the first location thinking these people were her friends.
We released these balloons on the count of 3 as a token of our love. 1, 2, 3. Long live Mahogany. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you.
Now, Jackson's family, including her mother, were present in court today, and as they read out the evidence, you could hear them getting very emotional. They tell me she was the life of the party who always knew how to stand up for herself, and her family says she did that to the very end.
My girl did what she did, told us what she was, helped us out. I'm so proud of her. Like, she did something. She did something. So
I'm glad, because
I'm glad she was on her toes.
Probably would have been just lost.
Thankfully, her sending her location helped police bring suspects into custody, and now those suspects are facing charges for what officials describe as horrific, even barbaric acts. And some of those things depicted were so bad, her big sister was afraid to see her.
I was so afraid to see what she looked like, knowing what happened. and my sister looked good. Like, she looked real good, and that warmed my heart. Like, that was the most thing that I was worried about.
She has to live with this forever. And there's some aspects of this situation I know that's devastating to their family. But then to see it reenacted on a video, it almost places you there. And then to see people continue to share it over and over. But at the end of the day, have some respect for them as well. Have some respect for the family. Have some respect for Mahogany.
What happened to 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson is completely heartbreaking. And even more heartbreaking, she had a daughter to raise, who is now in the care of Mahogany's mother. During the process of this entire thing transpiring, from the act being committed to the suspects being captured, social media ran wild with theories that the mother was at fault. They were bringing up certain family members and throwing them in the dirt. But all of that just turned out to be speculation. And in the end, it doesn't matter what anyone thought of the situation, whether Mahogany actually took the firearm or not, because even if she did, that didn't warrant what happened to her. The only positive thing in this story is that at the time that this occurred, Mahogany's daughter was in the care of her family. Cherish every moment you have on earth, because you never know when it's your time to go. Rest in peace, Mahogany Jackson. Thank you for being a light for others.
Okay, yeah. So if y'all see a little nipple, maybe. Okay. I just want to start this off with a review, and I really don't review shit. So here we go.